Whenever people talk about paranormal places, they often overlook Florida, which is very interesting to me. For those who know anything about the paranormal, Florida is built mostly on top of limestone. Limestone is a huge conductor of paranormal energy. You know what else is? Water. Florida is surrounded by water on 3 sides. We are a peninsula. That alone says so much about the spooky shit that takes place here in Florida. Like, we have so many haunted towns, and a lot of people don't even remember them. They just think of St. Augustine and the Keys. We have ghost towns, like in the middle of nowhere, Florida, that are so haunted, most people can't step foot there. We also have the Everglades, smack dab in the middle of southern Florida, more water conducting more energy. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, no wonder Florida is so fucking bizarre. I've mentioned this before. Do you know what is off the coast of Florida? On the east coast, to be specific? The Bermuda Triangle. I've made videos about it. If you go look at the map, it is right off our coast. And y'all wonder why Florida is absolutely bonkers. I'm gonna start talking about more of the weird shit here, because you guys are sleeping on it, and there's a lot.
What the heck is that? What the world in the world is going on? Look at that. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. What is that? Oh my god, is something coming down?
Okay, on this week's Creepy Florida Spotlight, let's just go ahead and address this whole Robert the Doll situation. So, Robert Eugene Otto was a boy who grew up in Key West under the care of his nanny who actively practiced voodoo. In 1906, she ended up giving him this 40-inch doll stuffed with wood and wool wearing a sailor's costume. Soon after he got this doll, Robert decided to name his doll his own name, Robert, and asked that everybody start calling him Gene. And soon enough, his behavior changed radically and he started walking around the house whispering all of his secrets to the doll, and friends and family started to really panic when they could swear they could hear this doll whispering back. Soon enough, they would leave the doll in a certain part of the house, leave and come home, and the doll would be sitting in the window facing outside, watching them almost. So it got really creepy really fast. And this doll is now in a glass case in a museum in Key West because it's considered one of the most haunted, dangerous artifacts in the US. So check it out.
I spotted this in Daytona Beach, Florida. Very weird how they disappear quickly in a pyramid-like shape and come back. Could it be aliens visiting Earth?
Big smile.
Haunted Places in Every U.S. State, Part 9, Florida. The gravity-defying Spook Hill. The phenomenon that happens at Spook Hill is real. Cars that are parked in neutral will appear to roll uphill. Legend says that the hill is either the site of a Native American burial ground or an epic battle of a Native American chief against a crocodile. But the truth is actually that it's just an illusion created by the hill's surroundings. While the cars appear to be rolling uphill, they are still just rolling downhill. Now, if you ask me, that sounds like a very lazy way to explain the phenomenon. Perhaps there are some secrets there that the local government would like to keep hidden. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
I didn't expect this cheesy museum to scare me, but it did. Tucked away in Cassadaga, Florida is the Haunted History Museum. It's only $10 to enter, and I didn't expect much. But the moment I entered, I could feel energy of the objects within. Each room had a theme, but I especially felt drawn to the psychic history area and the Ouija board wall. Some of the items were really silly, but I definitely felt a lingering heavy feeling after I left. This long-since abandoned house has a terrifying history of severed heads in the backyard and horrific kidnapping incidents. Originally built by Dr. Horace Drew in 1909, the now condemned structure has changed hands many times over the years with the hope of restoration. However, no one has owned it long enough to erase the dark shadow it casts over this historic Jacksonville neighborhood.
Enter, if you dare, St. John's County Jail in St. Augustine, Florida. Your tour begins with your processing, where you get the lay of the land before being ushered into maximum security. And there, you will find death row, where 8 men were condemned to spend their final days, their names still etched into the stone walls. But it's actually here in the kitchen where more death happened than anywhere else in the prison. And if you think it was the heat, you would be wrong. It was actually the coffee grinder. The living conditions here were abhorrent. Violence was rampant, and your life expectancy was 3 years at best. Which is quite jarring when you see the opposite side of the building. Brightly colored, beautifully furnished, utter luxury compared to the suffering next door. The energy here is heavy, and from the stories I was told, these lingering spirits don't mind making their presence known.
Cassadaga is a small town in Florida that is known for its spiritualism. The town's filled with mystics and fortune tellers. This town embraces the paranormal and spiritual side of anything. And it only makes sense because in this town lies a cemetery, and at said cemetery there lies the Devil's Chair. Legend has it, if you sit in the chair at midnight, you might be able to hear the disembodied voice of the devil. Now, different stories tell different things. There are plenty of people that say you can hear him, and there are plenty that say you can't. Some stories even say that he'll whisper in your ear, tormenting you until the day you die. And others will say the whispering stops once you get off the chair. While sitting on the chair, some people actually report seeing dark figures in the woods moving. This legend is so popular to the town, and on every Halloween night, guards will actually have to be posted at the cemetery to ward off pranksters. So the next time you're down in Florida, you should check out Cassadaga.
True Florida stories. Dwayne is 30 years old and has lived in Florida all his life. Dwayne says one of the worst things about growing up in Florida is growing up poor in Florida. Because in school, they mix the rich kids with the poor kids, and the poor kids get bullied severely. Dwayne desperately wanted friends, and he really wanted to be one of the popular kids. So he was really excited one day when one of the popular kids, Chad, invited him to come hang out after school with him and the boys. After school, they all meet up together in the parking lot. Chad, Nick, Mark, and Jackson take Dwayne for a drive. Chad says that they're going to take Dwayne to a party at a mansion that night on the beach. Dwayne gets super excited because he's never even seen a mansion before. They drive for a couple of hours until they reach a wooded area. They get to a gated driveway and they go in. This driveway was almost a mile long. They finally reach the mansion. Dwayne said it was more beautiful than anything he'd ever seen in his life. Dwayne says, so this is where the party is? And Nick and Mark say, yeah. Chad says, come on, Dwayne, let's go inside and check the place out. So all the boys head inside. Mark and Nick go upstairs. Chad takes Dwayne to a room that has a pool table. It was pretty clear to Dwayne that Chad had been to this house before. He knew where the bathrooms were and the pool table. Chad says that he has to go use the bathroom. He'll be right back. After 10-15 minutes, Dwayne realizes he's standing here playing pool by himself. Nobody has come back. Dwayne walks around the house and can't find anyone. He goes out the front door and the car's gone. These boys drove him over an hour away and abandoned him here in some stranger's house. Dwayne starts looking for a house phone. He didn't have a cell phone, his family couldn't afford them. Then he hears a phone ringing, and it's upstairs. So he runs directly to that room. When he opens that bedroom door, he's shocked. There's like a 50-something-year-old man laying across the bed. Dwayne says, oh my God, I'm so sorry. My friends just brought me here and left. The older man says, it's okay, come on in. Dwayne walks closer to the man. As soon as Dwayne got close to the bed, this man pulls out a taser. Dwayne said, what are you doing? The man says, don't move. The man says, I'm going to put this tape around your hands. Dwayne takes off running. When Dwayne comes down the stairs, another man pops out. He says, hey, where do you think you're going? He runs out of the house down the driveway to the gate. But the gate is locked. He hears yelling, and when he turns around, those same 2 men are chasing after him. Dwayne climbs over the gate. He ran until he reached the highway. A car stops, and they are kind enough to take him to the police station. Police immediately go back to the house, but nobody is there. They interview the boys, and they claim they don't know what Dwayne is talking about. When Dwayne gets back to school, he stops the boys in the parking lot and asks them why they left him there. Chad says, you costed me $1,000. Dwayne was like, what are you talking about? Chad said, did you really think we wanted to hang out with you? And then the boys walked off laughing. And then it finally clicked what they were talking about. These boys were being paid to bring other people to the house and leave them there. Dwayne says all 4 of those boys ended up in prison for other crimes.